Hey, my first game that I'm going to review is a Wii game. Uh, it's actually the first Wii game that I got for the Wii, and it came out November 19th, 2005, the day the Wii came out. It's an old game, but it's one of my favorites. It's The Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess, rated T for teens. This game is one of my favorites. It's amazing. I love Zelda games, and it's a very good strategy game. Pretty tough, actually. There are some puzzles that take a little bit of thinking, but it's a long game. They say it takes about 40 hours to play, and but it took me about 60 hours. But that was without the strategy guide. But some puzzles are pretty tough, actually. Like the Master Sword takes a little bit if you don't know what you're doing. It's only one player. It's only one player, so it's not like a party game like Super Mario, like Mario Party 8 or other Mario games that are out there. It's a hardcore gamers fan. One of the big titles that Nintendo sent out at the beginning. What comes with it is a pretty shiny CD disc with Link on it in gold. Pretty cool. And a decent and pretty good pamphlet, actually one of the best pamphlets I've seen for video games, for Nintendo Wii video games. It's not too big, it's not too small, but it's mostly what's in it. In the beginning, it has like its color, which I like because I think I don't like the black and white cheaply made ones, but it has actually a prologue to what happens in the story in it, which is amazing. You never really think they're going to have that. And using controls and different controls with the Wiimote and Nunchuck. Different enemies, attacks, weapons, maps, whole bunch of stuff that you can use with it. Different things, whole bunch of different things. Riding, running, I don't know, many things. It's one of my favorite. It's actually a really good pamphlet. I mean, usually they don't make it like that, but it's a good pamphlet. Actually, I mean, this is one of my favorite games, actually. So, I mean, I'm going to rate it out of 10. I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10, because it is a fun game. It's a strategy game. Some things are a little bit tough, but if you have the strategy guide, you could get it, or beat it pretty easily, or things like that. And it is a long game, but it goes pretty fast sometimes, and controls are pretty good. They're pretty spot on for one of the first Wii games. Swinging nunchuck like a sword. They don't really have that, but you pretty much press A. But and so Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess gets a 9 out of 10. So that was Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess. This next game is actually one of my favorite games as well. It came out winter of 2007. It is Super Mario Galaxies for the Wii, rated E for everyone. This game's also a pretty hardcore strategy game. One of good for hardcore gamers. It's a pretty big game as well. It takes quite a bit. And you miss a lot of things if you don't have a strategy guide, which I didn't have, but I got my things around after a while. Took me a while to get around it without strategy guide, but I got through it. But I recommend the strategy guide. This also surprised me because it is a 2-player game, which usually, I didn't think that would be, because you only play one character through the whole game, even though you get to play as Luigi after you beat the game. But you still play as only one player through the whole thing. So I was wondering what the second player did. All they do is pretty much just sit there and is pretty useless. I mean, you don't really use the second player at all. You just point and click and collect stars and help the player super jump, which they can do by themselves easier, and you have to push the button at the exact same time. And the first person could also collect stars by themselves really easily. So not really, no point of even having two people. The up, it's pretty much just ups from there. Like there's a whole bunch of suits. They brought the suits back. Cool. They have there's normal Mario, there's Fire Mario, there's Bee Mario, there's Boo Mario, there's Spring Mario, there's Ice Mario, there's a Flying Mario, there's a whole bunch of different Marios. It's pretty cool. But they help you get around levels and stuff like that. And a lot of bosses, big bosses, normal. They're the normal 3-hit kill bosses, but still they're pretty fun. It uses a lot of strategy just to get them, to kill them. But even in the first boss the big boss that you meet, it's actually the biggest boss there, and he's like 5 planets tall, and you have to climb him, and it's pretty tough. You have to climb him around and hit missiles and stuff like that. It's pretty cool. But when you get inside this, you get the CD, Red and Blue Mario CD, pretty cool. You get an advertisement for other Mario games that they have, which is like Super Mario, Mario Party 8, Mario Strikers, stuff like that. And the next pack, what's in the pack box, is registration kind of thing where you're typing code. I don't know. I don't really use it much, but yeah. And then the big thing is the packet. You get the Super Mario Galaxy packet, which is gigantic. One of the biggest packets I actually have for the Wii. But they trick you by actually only using about 19 pages only from the packet, and then the rest they just copied it and put in different languages, which I don't really care for because it's pretty much useless. You only use a couple pages. It is color, which I like. Looks professional. They have the cool thing. They have a little prologue in the beginning, like 1-page prologue, and then characters, like Rosalina. Talk about her. She's a character. You don't get to play her, but they talk about her, how to move around, stuff like that. Items you collect, how to jump, move around different terrain, stuff like that. It's pretty cool. Of course, they do deceive you, but yeah. So I'm gonna give Super Mario Galaxy for the Wii, saying that it is sometimes hard in some levels, and if you don't have the packet, and if you don't have the gamer's guide, it is pretty hard to do, and you get pretty frustrated, and you want to put it down and not really play it. But I do recommend buying this, and I am going to give it an 8.5 out of 10. So pretty much just recapping what happened. Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess got a 9 out of 10 because it is a fun strategy game, and I definitely recommend buying it. And then we also had Super Mario Galaxy. I gave 8.5 out of 10 too, because it is also a fun strategy game, but sometimes it's a little challenging, and I got kind of frustrated if I didn't have the packet. So, yeah, those were my 2 games for this episode. So, thank you. Bye.